The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady are going to Super Bowl 55.
Bring it home Super Bowl.
Home Super Bowl, baby.
We're coming home, and we're coming home to win.
The Chiefs are back-to-back AFC champions. They are headed to Super Bowl 55.
Here we are at the home of Super Bowl 55, Raymond James Stadium. Very unique year that we're all working through with everything, with all of the protocols related to COVID. We're really excited, though, to be part of such a historic event on so many levels. In order to make sure that we are properly distancing, we have designed separate paths to flow crowds around this concourse. We have these circles on the ground. They are properly spaced apart to allow for the proper distancing for folks. Normally for Super Bowl, we would have the venue at full capacity. We're gonna be more in the range of 25,000. But our goal is to have something in every seat.
To make sure that everybody's socially distanced, what we've decided is to be able to space people out and still make it a really fun environment. In between the fans, there'll be these 30,000 cutouts are gonna bring our stadium together so people will be able to be in the stands without actually being in the stands. The NFL is bringing 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers to the game this year. The NFL's gift to our most important MVPs, people who have literally put everything on the line to help us as a nation recover from COVID-19.
We have hand sanitizers, not only that are set up throughout the concourses and the site, but we also will be distributing a PPE kit to every attendee that comes to the Super Bowl. All tickets will be digital for accessing and entering into the Super Bowl. We're going completely cashless. We actually have reverse ATM machines if anyone does have cash so that they can get a card to be able to pay for their food and beverage.
You needed to have space between the playing field and the players and the fans, so this covers that 20-foot radius. These LEDs are comprised of over 37 million pixels, 3,700 feet of LED boards.
In order to continue to make sure that we are properly distancing, we actually had to build a multi-level structure. So this is where, for both teams, the injured reserve players will be, the practice squad players will be, and other team personnel will be located for the game. Throughout not only the stadium, but the entire campus, we have signs reminding folks of the key principles that we want everybody to follow. Everyone that attends the Super Bowl must wear a mask at all times when they're at the game.
As we lead up the Super Bowl, the principles that we've had throughout the course of the season remain in effect. The principles were simply from the get-go, what are we doing to ensure that the players, the coaches, and other personnel are kept as safe as possible from the pandemic? Testing, what our facilities would look like, how you could disinfect appropriately, everything from the locker rooms to the footballs, to what equipment people should be wearing, to how distanced they should be during the locker room, and those became our protocols. The remaining teams will test every single day, and to this point across the league, we've now performed more than 1 million tests. When we had a positive case, we were very clear about what we wanted to do. Identify that early based on the testing. Remove that person from the team environment. The second question, who are they exposed to during the period of time between those tests? And that was an evolution. We learned a lot about how this virus can potentially transmit and who is at risk as we move forward, and we understood better from working with the club.
Really understanding when does transmission occur, and more importantly, how can we take that knowledge and use it to avoid transmission? It's what clearly has gotten us through the season and avoided outbreaks.
Throughout the course of the season, we got better and better at contact tracing. Contact tracing devices are mandatory for all players, coaches, and a certain number of staff in the facility when they're at work. These devices identify when you've been within a certain number of feet of somebody else, and then the little blinker light, if it's flashing red, that means that you're too close to somebody and you're at some risk for potentially transmission of the virus. And more than 36 times, at least, throughout the course of the season, we were able to pull somebody from the facility who was a high-risk close contact of a positive case and know that that individual turned positive later. And so those are more than 36 cases where we were able to limit the spread of the virus within a facility.
Even though it's the Super Bowl, you're going to see fewer events. We've had to withhold a number of events that we would normally do. Those events that are being held outside. They're in a distanced fashion because we want to keep everyone as safe as possible.
We'll have whole floors of a hotel blocked off just for our people who are tested. And we're going to get in and get out of those hotels. We're not going to spend as much time there. So travel's going to be a little different, but it'll still be good because this is truly now pure business.
I'm probably most proud, looking back at this season, at the level of collaboration. As a collaborative team, we were able to navigate our way through some pretty challenging situations in a really challenging year. And hopefully that level of collaboration and cooperation will continue through in other ways as we always look for ways to improve the health and safety of our sport.